Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to you, wherever you are in this wonderful world of ours. I hope you're all well. And I would love you to make a comment, like this if you want, whatever. But I am coming on a bit early today because most people, if they're watching this, do watch it in replay. It would be lovely to see people live, but unfortunately, it doesn't happen that very often with me. However, there's always hope. So, anyway, without further ado, I am just going to run this wee ticker now and we'll get the video on.
In the Lord's hand, the king's heart is a stream of water, that he channels towards all who please him. A person may think their own ways are right, but the Lord weighs the heart. To do what is right and just, is more acceptable to the Lord, than sacrifice. Haughty eyes and a proud heart, the unplowed field of the wicked, produce sin. The plans of the diligent lead to profit, as surely as haste leads to poverty. A fortune, made by a lying tongue, is a fleeting vapor and a deadly snare. The violence of the wicked will drag them away, for they refuse to do what is right. The way of the guilty is devious, but the conduct of the innocent is upright. Better to live on a corner of the roof, than share a house with a quarrelsome wife. The wicked crave evil, their neighbors get no mercy from them. When a mocker is punished, the simple gain wisdom. By paying attention to the wise, they get knowledge. The righteous one takes note of the house of the wicked, and brings the wicked to ruin. Whoever shuts their ears to the cry of the poor, will also cry out and not be answered. A gift given in secret, soothes anger, and a bribe concealed in the cloak, pacifies great wrath. When justice is done, it brings joy to the righteous, but terror to evildoers. Whoever strays from the path of prudence, comes to rest, in the company of the dead. Whoever loves pleasure, will become poor, whoever loves wine and olive oil, will never be rich. The wicked become a ransom for the righteous, and the unfaithful for the upright. Better to live in a desert, than with a quarrelsome and nagging wife. The wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools gulp theirs down. Whoever pursues righteousness and love, finds life, prosperity, and honor. One who is wise, can go up against the city of the mighty, and pull down the stronghold in which they trust. Those who guard their mouths and their tongues, keep themselves from calamity. The proud and arrogant person, mocker is his name, behaves with insolent fury. The craving of a sluggard will be the death of him, because his hands refuse to work. All day long, he craves for more, but the righteous give without sparing. The sacrifice of the wicked is detestable. How much more so, when brought with evil intent? A false witness will perish, but a careful listener will testify successfully. The wicked put up a bold front, but the upright give thought to their ways. There is no wisdom, no insight, no plan, that can succeed against the Lord. The horse is made ready for the day of battle, but victory rests with the Lord.
Excellent. I don't know about you, but I just love that accent. I think it's brilliant. Anyway, because this is the end of the third week, I am now going to do a wee bit of a presentation here. Now, the first 2 weeks, I actually did a midweek section, and I thought, why do that? Because I just repeat myself on the seventh day. So today it's a little bit different. I'm just going to see if we can do this now, and all I need to do is to press my right arrow key, and I can change slides because I've got a second monitor here, and it's great. So yeah, here we are, start of week 3. Now, because this is the third week, Obviously, there's lots of things that have gone by, but these are things that I've taken out from this week's. However, at the bottom there it says, perhaps you could let me know your own in the comments section below. That would be ace, because I'd love to know, first of all, do you read Proverbs? And I hope that by getting wrapped up, yes, you will be able to get it into your own system to say, yeah, I would really like to be a bit wiser than I am right now. Now, I'm 69, 68, 69, and I'm still learning lots. So, yeah, wisdom is something that we could all do with. So, yeah, if you read Proverbs, let me know which Proverbs are your favorites. Let me know if there's more than one section of Proverbs that you like. I know my favourite passage, but we've not quite got there yet. So, anyway, let's see for this week. Now, in the past, I've actually just done one verse or maybe two. But because I'm doing this at the end of the week, I thought it would be good just to maybe go over some of these things in a bit more detail, because obviously, you know, you're reading a whole chapter of Proverbs. There's normally about 28 verses at least, in each of them. Sometimes it's about 25 or so, but at least 25. And out of that, there are loads and loads of Proverbs that I could probably quote. However, here we are for the first one. The eyes of the Lord are everywhere, keeping watch on the wicked and the good. That's just to let you know that God is still there and He's watching everything. And some people will say, but where is He? Why is He not taking action now? Why are all these things happening? We're human beings, we make our own decisions. God doesn't intervene, He doesn't tell us what to do. We've got free will to do what we want, to whoever we want, whenever we want. That's our choice. Not God's choice, our choice. Look at the next one. A happy heart makes the face cheerful, but heartache crushes the spirit. Now, isn't that true? If you meet somebody who is happy, and you know they share things with you and they make you feel good, isn't that great? And yet, when you feel down, it does crush your spirit. You do feel, oh, this is awful. How am I going to cope with this? Well, light in a messenger's eyes brings joy to the heart. Could you be a messenger to bring joy to somebody's heart today? And good news gives health to the bones. Well, the good news is that today my wife finishes her work and she's on holiday. And we're going to be on holiday. So, isn't that great? It is for me and it is for her. And it'll be good for Jordan as well because he's at home right now and he'll have the house to himself. So, Jordan, it better be good when we come back. Right. Next one. And actually, there's a lot of threes in my choices. I don't know what it is about threes this week, but there are a lot. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans. Isn't that just so true? I probably don't do that as much as I should. I wish I did. Because maybe my plans would succeed better than they do. In their hearts, humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. And if I look back on my life and I see what I had hoped for when I was younger and all the steps and the journey I've taken, I am nowhere near where I thought I would be. I have done things I never thought I would, some good, some bad. I am in a place just now I never thought I would be, some good, some bad. But overall, I do know that God knows the steps I've taken, and whatever that is, I'm in His plan. And that for me is just amazing news that he loves me and he wants the best for me, just as he does for you. Gracious words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. Just as I said before, when you meet somebody and they say nice things to you, you feel good. You do feel good. Uh, and if you listen to people who bring other people down, that does the opposite. So let's get on to the 17th. The crucible for silver and the furnace for gold, but the Lord tests the heart. Now, when I read that verse first, I used to think of when we had crucibles at school and we were heating things up, etc. And I also have an ex-colleague of mine who's a silversmith now. She does amazing things with silver. But just think about the temperature that has to come up to melt the silver. Even more so for the gold, it needs a furnace. So if that is what's happening to those precious metals, how much more is it happening to our precious lives? Our hearts. Yeah. And are you being tested right now? Is your heart being tested? I know mine is. I'll leave that for you to think over. The one who has knowledge uses words with restraint, and whoever has understanding is even tempered. Yeah, read the next verse. Even fools are thought wise if they keep silent, and discerning if they hold their tongues. Mm. Isn't that true too? And how many times have we been in people's company and you hear yap, 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 yap. Sometimes that yap, yap, yap isn't good for us. However, sometimes that yap, yap, yap is good for us. It depends what's been said, who's saying it, what's behind it, what's in their heart. Let's get to the 18th then. The words of a gossip are like choice morsels that get down to the inmost parts. What was I saying earlier about people yakking, gossiping? And the thing about gossip is people listen. Sometimes they don't want to listen, but there's that curiosity in the human mind that says, yeah, tell me more. And it's absolutely true that in most, you think about these things probably more than you do other things that people talk to you about. Yeah, I certainly find that. To answer before listening, that is folly and shame. Two of these, one of these, listen twice as much as you speak. I learned that very early on in my sales career to listen to what my customer was asking or saying so that I understood what his needs were and how I could meet them, if I could meet them. So sometimes you can jump in a bit early. Yeah, lots of conversations I've had, I've been guilty of that. But I learned a lesson. Yeah, definitely 2-to-1 ratio. The tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit. So, what kind of fruit are you eating? The kind that brings extra life to somebody? Or are you killing them softly? Are you saying things that are bringing them down? Don't do it. The poor are shunned by all their relatives. How much more do their friends avoid them? Though the poor pursue them with pleading, they are nowhere to be found. With pleading, nowhere to be found. Isn't that sad? I think in this Western world, we're fairly fortunate that we don't have a lot of poor around us. We do have poor, don't get me wrong. And those people are the ones that we should be looking after. Do you know, I had a conversation with somebody. I was actually doing a live stream, and it was about celebrating people in our local community. And I had a conversation with this guy, and basically what I said is, when we got into lockdown, I've thought about what it would be like if I was a multimillionaire or a billionaire or a trillionaire. What would I be doing right now with my money? Would I be sitting around with all this luxury behind me when all these poor people were out there needing help? When there were all these people who needed assistance to try and keep them alive, let alone live properly? I know there are a lot of philanthropists who are very rich, so don't get me wrong about this. But there are an awful lot of others who have so much wealth and they don't even think twice about other people who don't have it. Yes, they may have worked very hard for it, they may have inherited it, they may have got it by other means, not quite so good. Whatever that is, yeah, I think it's sad that we're in this position, in this world where we've got so much. I don't know what percentage is it, 5 or 6% of the wealth of this world, people who have the most. I don't know. I didn't research that. Just off the top of my head. The one who gets wisdom loves life. The one who cherishes understanding will soon prosper. Well, I wish that when I was younger, I had been given the advice that Bill Mercer gave me that started this whole thing about reading a chapter of Proverbs every day. And not just that, but understanding uh, God, understanding what Christ has done for us as human beings. I wish I'd learned that much earlier. I'd paid attention and made sure that I was getting as much good information in here as possible. Whoever is kind to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will reward them for what they've done. Well, as I said, my only regret is that I'm not as wealthy as I thought I might be at this age. Because if I was, that wealth would be distributed, let me tell you. 100% certain about that. On to yesterday. The purposes of a person's heart are deep waters, but one who has insight draws them out. Well, psychologists, psychiatrists, they're trained to do that, aren't they? But you could be as close to somebody as a friend and have some idea. The more you talk to them, the more you find out about their lives, etc., the more you can try and help them. So some people are deep. I know our son's deep. Uh, our other son's deep, very deep. But, I think mum, their mum, does a fantastic job in bringing out what's in the depths. Next one, it's no good, says the buyer. Then off he goes and boasts about the purchase. Yes, I know that. I've actually done it, to be honest. When you're in the souks in the UAE, they expect you to bargain. And I have to say, I found it very uncomfortable saying to people, nah, I'm not paying that, I'm not paying that. But actually, I'm pretty sure that they know You can go down quite a bit. But I don't know if I've ever been at that stage where I've actually known that somebody was selling something that was worth a lot more than what they were asking for it. But I do know people who who have done that, saying it's no good, and then they go and say, "Oh, look what I've got! This wonderful bargain." Yep, it's nice to get a bargain, uh, but not at the expense of someone, you know, really value for money. Okay, next. Do not say, I will pay you back for this wrong. Wait for the Lord and he will avenge you. Well, I wish I'd taken that advice more times than I can care to remember or imagine. Um, yeah, sometimes you get a bit frustrated though because you think, why is nothing happening just now? Or you do want to pay them back, a tit for tat rather than turn the other cheek. I don't know. What are your thoughts about these? Have you thought about any of the things that I've said just now? If so, comment. Today, whoever shuts their ears to the cry of the poor, are you getting a message? Will also cry out and not be answered. Now, there's a thought. Not be answered if you cry out for help. Hmm, now that is worth thinking about. Whoever pursues righteousness and love finds life, prosperity, and honour. Well, righteousness is something that we gain, I suppose, as Christians, because as Christians, it's Christ's righteousness that saves us, not our own, because none of us are righteous. None of us really are sinless. None of us can claim to be perfect. Nowhere near it perfect. But I would replace that righteousness with Christ. Whoever pursues Christ and loves Him, paraphrasing a bit, they'll find life, prosperity, and honour. I'm not so sure about the prosperity and honour bit. As such, yes, it's nice to be prosperous, but nice to be prosperous to what? When you hear the poor cry out, help them. Okay, the next two come together. I should have had a glass of water here. There is no wisdom, no insight, no plan that can succeed against the Lord. Put your teeth back in, Stuart. The horse made ready for the day of battle, but victory rests with the Lord. That goes back to that bit about, you know, uh, let the Lord take your battles on rather than you battle yourself. But I don't know if you know the battle song. Da, 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 da. It is God who trains my arms for battle. That song? I don't know if you know that, but that's what came into my mind when I read that today. Absolutely amazing. If you want to look that up, I'm sure it's called the Battle Song, but it's God who trains my arms for battle. That's how it starts. Look up the lyrics. Absolutely amazing. If you're a Christian, I'm pretty sure you must have sung that a few times. Excuse me. I should definitely get a glass of water the next time. So, here we are. That was us. That's this week past, the third one gone, one more full week, and then we've got a few days at the end of this month because we're in a 31-day month, which is why I'm doing this. So, again, just a reminder, getting wisdom, reading a Proverbs passage every day until perfect is what getting wrapped up stands for. And I hope that you're getting some wisdom. So, if you would recommend this to somebody else, why not share this video? Why not point people to my website? That would be ace. Okay, I'm now going to take this off the screen. Let's get back to my other one. There we go. That's me. And now all I would like to say just now, where am I? Here we go. Is thank you very much for watching the broadcast, and I'll see you tomorrow. Well, you might not see me because I might just do it without being on screen. So, catch you later.